What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Monday to you. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that notifications bell. It goes a long way. And if you get anything out of this video, all I ask is that you leave it a thumbs up, if you will. Looking at the cryptocurrency market cap, there are a couple of big news stories that I do want to go over today. The major one being that BAKKT, the long-awaited Bitcoin futures platform, is actually starting testing today. That is big news. That is something that was supposed to launch last year, and analysts as well as cryptocurrency enthusiasts have predicted that something like BAKKT would set the market on fire because it is a conduit to make Bitcoin and eventually cryptocurrency more ubiquitous and provide mainstream access to them. See, the main difference between the BAKKT futures platform and the platforms that currently exist on the CBOE and CME, because we do have Bitcoin futures nowadays, but the main difference is that the BAKKT platform is going to be physically settled as opposed to cash settled in the way that the CME or CBOE Bitcoin futures are. And that means that people who, or traders who engage, in Bitcoin futures trading on BAKKT will actually be owning or have the potential to own actual Bitcoin, and they're not just cash settled. And that is the reason that they have had a hard time with regulation. See, the CBOE and CME, they pretty much got the Bitcoin futures platforms approved as soon as they were ready, because they are cash settled and it doesn't involve the transfer of actual cryptocurrency. The regulatory bodies are a little more hesitant to approve a platform that allows people to own actual cryptocurrency. Anyway, I think that this is a great strategy that they're attempting, because if the testing goes well, then it can be seen as justification for approval, right? So they weren't approved, they continue testing anyway, and if the test results come back positively, then that could be a catalyst for approval. So that is hopefully going to start today, and we will continue to follow this news story, I'm sure, in the next few weeks. And BAKKT, hopefully it is the spark that it is expected to be in terms of cryptocurrency value and Bitcoin value. Looking at the crypto market cap, we're currently at 282.5 bill. This is really, the market's been pretty stagnant between 250 and 280. Haven't really been able to get to that 300 bill threshold that we saw when Bitcoin was trading just shy of 14K. Looking at the top 20, there aren't really many notable alts that have seen rallies. There are a few random ones here and there. Bitcoin SV continues to be super volatile, up almost 30% randomly in the last week. Binance Coin saw a little bit of a bounce, up 7% in the last week. Tron up 12% on news that Justin's son is about to have lunch with Warren Buffett. Think of how ridiculous that statement is. That is how few fundamentals we have in crypto, that somebody announcing a lunch with Warren Buffett can raise the value of your cryptocurrency 12%. Like, what does that really have to do with the value of the cryptocurrency? How is that going to change the value of the cryptocurrency that Justin's son actually paid to have lunch with Warren Buffett? Anyway, I digress, but that is ridiculous as shit. Looking at Bitcoin on the 1 day, there is a confluence of recent bearish patterns. And overall, the pattern is still bullish, right? So if you bought Bitcoin back in, even back in April when it was under 4,000, and you closed your laptop and opened it today and you see Bitcoin's trading at 10,300, you're like, holy shit, that was a great trade. But obviously, if you're micro monitoring and looking at things on a day-to-day basis, in recent times, ever since the end of June, which is really not that long ago, but now seems like forever ago, when we hit almost 14,000 on Bitcoin, we've hit a couple of bearish patterns, consecutive bearish patterns. So you see, this was a bear flag, a potential bear flag at the time. It morphed into a double top. You see the double top here hitting closing at around 13.1, 13.2, and followed by a candle here in the second week of July at around the same level. So this is a double top, which is a bearish pattern. And now we are seeing a bear flag coming down from the confirmed double top, which is also a bearish pattern. And we are wedged in here between the 21 EMA, which is this white line, and the 50 MA which is this orange line here. And obviously we cannot remain in this tight range for a very long time. We're going to have to squeeze out one way or the other. I mean, between the 50 MA and the 21 EMA, we're talking about $600, which, you know, when you look at Bitcoin's price in relation to Bitcoin's price, that's not much at all. So we are going to have to be squeezed out of here at some point. Now, because of the confluence of bearish patterns, along with the fact that the momentum is still declining, if you look at the MACD, you look at the RSI, I think that we will see a retest of the, at least between the 0.5 and the 0.382 fib levels again, right? So I do have buy orders, and if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description, where I send all of this info out and all of the levels that I'm looking at with Bitcoin as well as other cryptos. If you're part of the diamond traders and above, you also get stock trade alerts, and we'll get into stocks a little bit later in the program. But looking at this, between the 0.5 and 0.382 fib level is where I'm setting my buys. I have a buy at around 98.50, a buy at around 9,500, and then one at around 8,500. That is what I'm looking at currently. Again, Bitcoin is still very bullish in the mid to long term, and especially if something like BAKKT gets approved, or the test results come out and they're positive, and you know the regulatory bodies make a statement that because of that they are looking at approving BAKKT once again, that could propel the next rally. I don't think it's needed to propel the next rally. I think just based off of technicals alone, there is enough justification for the bull rally to continue after this cool off period, but that will definitely help. All right, looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, you see here that there's this level, and again, if you follow this channel for a while now, you'll remember that I talked about this level being one that will potentially be very tough to break because of how much time we spent here coming down from the crypto boom that we saw at the end of 2017 when Bitcoin hit 20,000, right? This was the level that Bitcoin was struggling to surpass, to continue the bull rally and not end all of the euphoria and momentum that we saw when Bitcoin hit 20,000. And because we weren't able to break there, and essentially the fall from grace, yeah, I mean, it did start at 20K, but there was so much more resistance here than there was at 20K. We hit 20K for a week and then came back down the following week, right? But here, we lasted 7 weeks trying to break this resistance level. So the market knows that this is a pivotal level. This is cemented in history. And so getting above that is going to be a tough task. Now, I believe eventually we will get above that, because if you don't, then that means that you believe that this is the extent of the bull rally, that we had a nice little rally, went from 3,200 to 14K, and that's it, end of the 2019 bull rally. But I don't think that's the case. And if you look at the moving averages, you'll see that the 21 EMA crossing above the 50 and the 100, that is bullish. And the fact that the MACD tends to, during these bull rallies, you'll see that it creates these humps here, these hills, where it needs to cool off a bit, falling range bound within the RSI. Did I say MACD before? I meant RSI. If I did say MACD, I apologize. But yeah, so you see the same thing happening here, where during this bull rally, we are creating these hills, and the RSI is bouncing off of these range bound levels, similar to what we saw back at the end of 2017 and beginning of 2018. So I'm not too worried about Bitcoin in the mid to long term. And there isn't really a right way to play this, or a single right way to play this, right? So back on the 1 day, I mean, if you're a long-term trader, sure, you can, buy at identifiable discounted levels, such as the 0.382 fib or closer to the 0.5 fib, and just hold long term. You might have also been holding since, buying back here earlier in the year when Bitcoin was under 4,000. But, if you are more savvy, you have the time and the aptitude, you can definitely swing trade within certain levels, looking at shorter time frames like the 4 hour, even the 1 day you can use for swing trading. But, there are key identifiable levels. Like for sure, if we get to between the 0.5 and the 0.382 fib, I'll be buying. And then if we get, up to close to this resistance level that we see here, I will be setting a trailing stop in order to take profits if we do end up declining. And you can essentially repeat that, or again, you can long-term hold or dollar cost average, as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Looking at the traditional markets, the Dow is relatively unchanged. The S&P is up 1/3%, and the Nasdaq is up 2/3%. I looked at the SPY, which is the ETF that follows the S&P 500, and I think this was now almost a month ago or over a month ago. I posted an idea on TradingView. Follow me on TradingView if you haven't already. I'll leave that link in the description as well. But saying that, it looks eerily similar to the pattern that we saw in 2015, 2016. And if I hit the play button to load the new bars here, you'll see that it's playing out very close to what we saw back in 2015, 2016. So I do anticipate that the Fed will start cutting, or will actually cut rates on July 31st when it has its announcement due. That is good for stocks in the short term, not really good for the economy in the long term, according to some analysts. I won't get into that now, but I do anticipate that the Fed will cut rates, which will propel the stock market to even newer all-time highs. A couple of stocks that we're holding: Disney up 24% on Disney. I did send out a trade alert on some other stocks as well, including gold, which we made a killing off over the last couple of days. Now it is retraced back down, or it's really consolidating back down to around 135. And I do think we'll see another leg up on gold. Again, if you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. And I'll end the video by saying this: if you're having trouble with your technical analysis, or even if you're not having trouble but you want to take it to the next level and you want one-on-one consultation with me, I do one-on-ones, and we go over technical analysis as well as other trading techniques and strategies that you might have questions on. I only take a maximum of 10 people per month. I have a couple of openings coming up in August, so if you want to sign up for that, I suggest waiting until August 1st so you don't get charged multiple times, because if you sign up now and then you sign up August 1st, you'll be charged now and you'll be charged August 1st. Not my doing. That's just the platform that I'm currently using is that's how it's set up. I'm looking to change that in the future, but if you do want to sign up for August, I would say wait until August 1st and sign up for that. That's a Centurion level on the Patreon page currently, and Centurion and Diamond traders are also automatically enrolled for a 0.03 Bitcoin drawing that I do on the 1st of every month, just as a way to give back to those who are participating in the community. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're already subscribed, please hit that notification bell. It goes a long way. And hit that thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. Leave a comment if you have a question or an agreement, disagreement, comment, etc. I'd love to hear from you guys. Yes, I read every single comment. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.